What up, motherfuckers? And people that aren't motherfuckers too, as well. You know, people that are like Sherry Spears, like Sherry Spears. You know, from Leak Project. Yeah, she's from like Leak Project. She can't possibly be a motherfucker, but it's all good. I cuss. And let's see, I had one beer in like 2 years. A couple weeks ago, I did a video. Oh, by the way, Sherry Spears is pretty cool. I don't know what happened to her. A lot of people, like during Thanksgiving, they just kind of quit doing their videos. Who knows? People will probably stop doing their videos. A lot of them. Who knows? But you know, I don't know what it is about Sherry Spears, but she fucking cracks me up in a good way. You know, like that person would be fucking a riot to be around if she acted like that. But that's besides the point. Anyway, you can just go visit her channel. And she's always got a smile and a good laugh, and she cracks me up in a good way. Yeah, she cracks me up. And this is my new phone. You won't see any graininess in here. Of course, I could change the settings on this and make it even better. This has got 4 cameras on it. This is just one of 2 phones that are exactly the same. Why do I have 2 phones? You tell me. Why wouldn't I have 2 phones? You know, I have my entourage. I have people that I have to be in contact with. This motel room here, this is like a temporary thing, on and off. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm not. And yeah, I bought my house, you know, a while ago. I bought it a while ago. I couldn't tell everybody that though. So I showed them some footage of some houses I looked at. Sue me. All right, it wasn't true. I mean, those houses weren't the ones I'm going to get. Anyway, so I decided to buy some beer. And I couldn't find, well, I was so used to drinking Steel Reserves 211s when I was kind of hitting it, because it was just so quick to put on a nice buzz and stuff. Really, I just want to, the last beer I had, it was just to have the beer flavor in my mouth. It wasn't even to get buzzed. It was just one draft beer. But this is, you know, my old favorite. I don't care what anyone says. I like Heineken. I don't know why, you know, if people don't like Heineken, it's usually their response is, oh, that tastes like piss. That's usually what a beer drinker that has his own likes will say about somebody else's beer. They'll always say, oh, it tastes like piss. Well, guess what, dude? If you know what fucking piss tastes like, then I don't even want to get to know you, okay? If you know what piss tastes like, I don't even want to get to know you. I mean, yeah, I know what some salty pussy tastes like, but, you know, I don't go around drinking piss, so I wouldn't know a fucking clue about what it fucking tastes like, straight up. Plus, when you're eating pussy, you don't just taste a little salt from a little mixture of piss. You're tasting the fucking pussy itself, which means everything other than just the fucking minute piss that might be in there. And so, to know what fucking piss tastes like, you either have to be a certain kind of Native American that drinks piss, because some of them do for health benefits, I guess that's what they say. And, you know, that's just a cheap answer to somebody who doesn't drink your beer or sick of it, or is an alcoholic who has to constantly change up what he's drinking. A lot of people, they have to drink malt liquor, or you're some kind of fiend if you don't drink malt liquor like of some kind. Oh fuck, don't tell me I gotta, these aren't twist offs, motherfucker. Oh, well, at least I got a fucking bottle opener, right? So yeah, what I was gonna get at was, you know, I'm just like anyone else, man. I don't fucking give everybody my details. When I first had an opportunity to buy a house out here, I bought it. I didn't tell the people I was renting from that I did that. You know? Now what the fuck? Oh, it's this bottle opener. Okay. Well, I got 2. One's a bottle opener, one's a like more of a can opener. And this fucking thing is hard to get fucking undone. I don't know how it gets fucking caught up like this. Oh my fucking god. I don't know how it fucking gets like this anyway. So I can just do it this way. The old-fashioned way. It's pretty funny. That should be a fucking bottle opener on that fucking thing. I don't know why I didn't. But anyway, so this video is just really, it's kind of about my last video, okay? So what I was trying to explain was, first of all, you don't know who anyone is. A lot of people that don't want you to know what they're up to have their own honeypot, their own system of deception, so that if you do hack their phone, you're going to think this, that, and the other rather than this, that, and the other. And, you know, that way you don't know what the fuck they're up to. Now, I got shit I got pictures of shit on my phone and stuff on purpose to fucking throw people off. If they ever hack my phone, they'll think, oh my God, what the fuck is this? This is a financial statement of this, that, or the other. And then they'll try to fucking find out, and who knows what money they'll spend with investigation to find out, and they don't have a clue. They don't really know my shit, bro. You know what I mean? They don't really fucking know. I don't fucking publish that shit. Besides, I had to do some things, technically speaking, so that I didn't lose some other benefits I have. Which means, like, you know, like if I want to get spinal surgery or something like that. I'm just being honest, you know, I have insurance, but, you know, somebody that lives out of a motel for 4 or 5 months straight up, those people aren't homeless, bro. So I don't know who the fuck that cat thinks he is, that thinks that I have to be homeless and on welfare, because you can't live out of a fucking motel like that, dude. Maybe you could do it like in like East St. Louis, like in some shack ass fucking motel near a bunch of fucking crack, dealers and truck stop. Maybe you could get away with it, but you'd have to do something extra for money, because you'd run out of money. And I'm not special. I'm just a fucking human being, okay? But I mean, I don't know how to explain this. I'm an envoy. I've been given a job. I was given a job years ago, and it doesn't include a paper trail. I mean, I could go ahead and just go off the wall and say, I work for extraterrestrials, and leave it at that. I work for extraterrestrials. I mean, how are you going to fucking call me on that? It's the one thing about it is this. Other people that do their channel, like let's say the Dimensionalist, he says he can biolocate, but he don't care about money. Okay, if that's the case, then why did he start a YouTube channel? Why did he fucking start a YouTube channel? And why did he use somebody else to help him get subscribers? And why does he say he can biolocate, never prove it? Why does he say he doesn't care about money if his whole intention of his YouTube channel is to get as many views as possible? Which, I'm not going to lie, views for me are very hard to get. And that's okay, because, I already told you guys, I'm not into YouTube for money. I do it for my own fucking reasons. And like I said, I'm not into commercial horrors. I don't, as much as I like to watch certain people's channels that have commercials, I don't really, eventually I get annoyed at them. And I'll say something. And another thing I don't like about some people's channel is, for instance, I don't even know if this is fucking recording, is it? Yeah, it's recording. This one person, he says, oh, he's got some kind of TV deal, and before that he said he has a girlfriend, but he doesn't know if she's going to want to go on camera. And I don't know, he just says all this shit, right? And okay, so kudos to him if he ends up with a TV show or money from a TV show. Kudos, I'm glad for him. But in the meantime, so far, if he had a girlfriend, he's got erectile dysfunction or something, because not only is he not shown her, but he hasn't even mentioned her one more time since he brought her up. Okay, so me, I love being single. I love women, but I love being single. Because once you have a woman, you have to dedicate part of your pocketbook to her. And what do you get back? Some little sex, a little juice on your cock, and some sex? Is it that worth it? Not really. It's, you know, what I seek is a human being, you know, on the other side. I'm not looking for that quick, joyful fucking romp in a bed, you know, where you're, you know, fucking them right near their asshole, you know, because really, to me, that is, it's degrading. Yes, to have babies, maybe, but it's degrading to fucking have to want a woman just for that minute effect. And it is minute. You know, I don't care what anyone says. I mean, I remember back in the day, I would get such fucking hard on, and there's just no control over it. And yes, I enjoyed fucking whatever I had to do to get that fucking thing to function, because otherwise I'd be walking around with a stiffy. But the point is, once you get older, you realize that shit isn't important. And also you realize that big asses, big round asses, are not that fucking attractive anymore. Because, number one, a chick with a giant fucking ass is not any different than a fat person. They still have to find basically a robotic fucking arm, you know, to fucking wipe their ass. Or, you know, they, who knows, maybe they fucking are rich enough to have a maid to clean their fucking ass. I mean, how are you gonna, you know, unless you got fucking alien arms that go down past your knees, how the fuck are you gonna wipe your fucking ass with a big giant ass? So once you get older, I mean, still a lot of people like those fucking big booties, all the big juicy booty and all that shit. To me, it comes down to this: a woman is gonna have a dirty ass, whether she has a big ass or a small ass. She's still gonna, if she doesn't clean the fucking thing, she, you know, she's just, bad maintenance is gonna make the fucking thing gross, right? And but at the very least, if they don't have giant butt cheeks, you know, at the very least, at least they can reach their fucking asshole to wipe it. That's a. And right now we got a bunch of immigration people trying to get over here, and they're so close. They figure, you know, they're so close, they could, you know, basically they can wipe our asshole for us. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, we wipe our own ass. We don't need you coming in here and wiping our fucking ass. Number one, you're not even following the rules. The rules are mind your own fucking business. You know, if you're going to try to get in somebody's ass, you got to get to know them. You got to go through the port of entry for whatever disclaimer about abuse in your country. You can't fucking come over here and start throwing rocks at us and then complain we shot tear gas at your children. No, what the fuck are you got your children over there for anyway? Right by the fucking, where all the military is? I'm sorry, man. That ain't smart, bro. That ain't smart. What you're doing is not smart. Okay? Put it this way. If Mexico was rich and we were poor and we were trying to go into Mexico, all you guys would have no problem with fucking all that shit, doing that to us. You know? End of story. I don't even have to talk about it anymore. So, and plus, you know, a lot of people like, it tastes good. A lot of people like to antagonize America with political agendas. You know, George Soros, I mean, just because Alex Jones brings him up, George Soros is an antagonizer. He should be in jail, like Hillary Clinton should be in jail for seeking out uranium in Fort McMurray by burning the entire fucking place and selling uranium to Russians and trying to act like, Trump was involved with that? Oh, no. So it's the other way around. Do a 360 and look at her. Don't look at Trump, because you're just ignorant. I'm sorry, you're ignorant. And, you know, Bill Clinton, I don't work for Bill Clinton, okay? I work for a high power. I don't work for Bill Clinton. And a lot of people do work for Bill Clinton, and a lot of people that work for Bill Clinton mysteriously died of suicides and or car crashes and or just fucking straight up died. One of them was Ron Brown. Supposedly, you know, he died in a plane crash, but there was a bullet fucking hole in his head when they found him. So how does a plane crash and then they get to him and there's a bullet hole in his head? Because he survived and somebody didn't want him to survive? I mean, you can say, oh, well, Vince Foster, you know, a judge declared that, you know, there was no, you know, there was no mystery there, you know, Vince Foster died of suicide or whatever. No, sorry, dude, sorry. I don't buy that. You're bullshit. I don't buy your fucking bullshit. All right? Vince Foster was murdered, right? Let's see who else was murdered. I mean, there's some people I could bring up that, you know, because they have involvement with things that are of a nature that, you know, are, well, a lot of people like to refer to it as conspiratorial or conspiracy theory, which is a CIA memo, 1967, to discredit anyone that tries to bring up another opinion about how JFK died. But really, it's used to this day for anything that is an alternative opinion. So when you use conspiracy theorists, it just makes you ignorant. Okay, it makes you ignorant automatically. Because what you're doing is you're basically saying only your opinion matters, no one else does. Because they're conspiratorial in nature, they're conspiracy theorists, they're defunct, they don't matter. By default, their argument cannot win because they're conspiracy theorists. No, you're programmed. You're programmed. And, I mean, you know, I could just go on and on and on about the hypocrisy. I mean, when Clinton went in to Waco with Janet Reno, he had 2 of his fucking goons shooting at that fucking place with the ATF. That means people that aren't officially supposed to be fucking shooting weapons at fucking that complex were shooting their weapons at that complex. And when I say goons, I mean his personal bodyguard type people. It had nothing to do with the fucking ATF. Any day they wanted to pick up David Koresh, they could have. He jogged every day. Every fucking day he went out and jogged by himself. But no, instead they had to go in there with a tank, pump gas into the place, and fucking light it on fire. And then say, oh, he did that with gasoline. Bullshit. Okay, bullshit. See, I like my country more than other countries, but trust me, corruption is where the money is, and doesn't at all mean that just because I love my country, it's right. A lot of times, it's far from right. It's far from right. And that's my number right there, okay? That's my number. My covert number, okay? Just don't fucking forget it, all right? And yes, I was talking about Jeffrey Allen Lash earlier, and I was making some comments in reference to him. I know it's old, the topic's already passed and gone, but Jeffrey Allen Lash was another person similar to me, except he had access to a lot more money. He had a lot of access to ground-based patrol agencies and stuff like that. Me, I have access to otherworldly contacts. I know, it sounds funny. And I don't get a lot of views, which is fine with me. Like I told you, it's fine with me. I don't care. But I've had people that have turned against me, and as soon as they did, they disappeared. All right, let's just say I didn't do nothing. Okay, I didn't do anything to them. Somebody did, but not me. Somebody did, but not me. And, you know, of course, I felt bad about it because it was like, hey, man, you know, but it's like, hey, man, get over it. That dude was going to fucking, you know, I'm not going to go out and say it, but they let me know. It's like, dude, you don't realize that person was going to come after you. You know, and they let me know that shit. They let me know that shit. Yeah, there's the bottle opener. Fuck, man, I couldn't. I don't know. My mind doesn't. Sometimes my mind just doesn't work, especially on little things. And I got a family. My family thinks that I'm this, that, and the other. Who knows what they fucking think, and I don't care. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not even. Just because I look a little like my dad, and maybe I look a little like my mom, or whatever, I'm not even genetically completely related to my family. You know? It's... And of course they're laughing at this video if they watch it. If they... Then I doubt they are. They got their own lives, and which is all that matters. Their own lives matter, not mine. But... Yeah, I... See, the thing is, these other humans, they have the ability to augment your genetics by demand, so that, you know, that if anyone was to look at you, they were going to, first thing they're going to do is they're going to think, oh, well, yeah, obviously that's a Clark. You look like a Clark. You know? So nobody's going to question it. The reality is a whole different story. In other words, instead of them having to put a quote implant into you to make you function a certain way, they really don't have to. They've already got you set up from birth to be able to be a certain way. So it's kind of like, and it doesn't mean my other family members don't have similar fucking things going on. It's just that I'm not involved with whatever whatever they are supposed to do. I'm not involved with their shit. Everybody has a separate agenda, and a lot of people are like this. A lot of people don't realize, you know, they think because they look like their mom and they look like their dad, or they look like a combination of both, or they look like their brother, or they look like their sister, that they are a specific person from that genetic line. But in reality, they aren't. I might have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I ran into I'll just say it, man. He's a fucking clone of me. Okay? I ran into somebody who was a fucking clone of me. This son of a bitch. You know, and this is kind of around the time when I started to realize that there's more going on here than meets the eye. Pun intended in this case, because when I fucking saw this dude in the mirror, and I'm just going to repeat it for people that haven't watched my shit before or whatever, maybe I can say it a little more eloquently. The dude looked exactly like me, to the point where I thought it was me in the mirror. The mirror was at an angle. I was eating. But I realized when I was going up to eat my food, I was realizing, hey, that face is too small. And plus, where's my hand going up for my food? Plus, he's not wearing the same shirt I'm wearing. So immediately, you know, I started having a little anxiety attack there. And I realized, I looked over to the left a little bit, and there was me eating with my fork. And I looked back to just a little to the angle of the mirror, saw that guy behind me, and realized, oh my God. I'm not going to go talk to that dude because, and he was just missing. I had a couple scars. I have a couple scars. He didn't have them, but everything else he had. He even had the same fucking haircut as me at the time. This was in at the casino, Silver City, in Las Vegas at the time when I lived in Las Vegas, which is not too far from Area 51. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I could see that he was making an effort not to make eye contact with me. When I got up to try to, you know, I didn't even want to look at him. Honestly, it scared the shit out of me. You know, at the time, it scared the shit out of me. I got up and I tried to walk, like, with my face away from him, but at the same time, I wanted to try to keep an eye on him to see, you know, if is he going to look over at me? Because if he does, it's going to be fucking like shell shock. And because I'm already freaking out. You know, but I managed to get by him, and I walked out, and before I walked out of that casino, there was a guy you know, like right out in the front part of the casino where they had some machines or some shit, there was like a front alcove or something. And the dude, I don't know if this means anything to any of you or not, okay? But the dude had a Pinocchio fucking nose. And when I say that, I mean this fucking nose came out like something out of a fucking cartoon like Pinocchio. Now, I know there's people with conditions like that, don't get me wrong, but after seeing somebody that looked exactly like me and then starting to walk out and seeing somebody like that, it seemed like it was a plant on purpose. It was like to jack me into a whole nother realm of reality. In other words, both of them were plants. They wanted me to see my lookalike, and they wanted to see this fucking guy with a fucking nose that came out. And when I say nose that came out, it came out like a fucking tube, you know, and then cut off at the top, at the end, just like a fucking, you know, a can does, except it was fucking long, you know. And, you know, I was like thinking to myself, after I saw somebody who looked just like me, and then I saw that, I was like, how does that fucking guy even, I mean, it actually made me start to forget about my doppelganger, or my clone, or whatever. I was like, how the fuck does somebody like that even walk around in society? I mean, how, it would be easy to have that fucking nose cut off, or remove, or have a nose job. It wouldn't be that much money. Why are you here in Vegas blowing your money? You could fucking have that nose cut down to size or something. But no, that dude, he was out of the norm. All right? Now, if anyone was born like that, if I was born like that, I'm pretty sure even at a young age, I'd have that fucking nose taken care of. That's simple. I know it sounds funny as fuck, but to be quite honest with you, those two people were plants. Somebody was trying to let me know, hey bro, we have control over a bunch of shit. And by the way, look at this guy. You think that's normal? After just seeing your clone? You know, somebody was letting me know, hey, we are, you know, we're very aware of what you're doing. And by the way, you know, I think after a certain amount of time, I realized these guys aren't even allowed to fucking murder me. They're not even allowed to get rid of me. Because I have a job, they're aware of it, and it's above them. It's above them. I still am in need of human laughter and stuff. I'll watch people's whatever, their YouTube channel, and, you know, TV bores the fucking shit out of me. I can't, there's nothing on TV anymore anyway. But I'm over TV, you know. I just watch it as a state of affairs, if you want to call it that. But like, for instance, the other day I brought up Michael Constantino, and he makes me laugh. When he's eating in public, he gulps his food down. When he's eating in his house, he chews it a little more. So it's humorous, makes me laugh. You can see that when he's out in public, he has that anxiety factor. It doesn't really show really well, but when he's eating, you can tell because he's looking around. He even took a shit smell break while he was eating at that Italian restaurant, his spaghetti and meatballs or whatever the fuck he was eating. He went, and that was funny as fuck. It's like something somebody does when they smell somebody's shit, you know. It just cracked me up. Anytime Michael Constantino, also known as Dragon Lord Frodo, talks about dumps and shit, I don't know, man. He just makes me crack up. He's a funny motherfucker. I'll be honest with you. He could probably be a stand-up comedian. I really do believe that. And Tara the Tard, don't change your name. Don't change your name, Tara. Fuck, man. I love that name. That is the fucking most killer name. Tara the Tard? Really? That is because, you know why it's cool? Because when I was growing up, it was not politically incorrect to call somebody retarded. You know, and now everything seems to be politically correct. You got to call them mentally disabled now and shit. And it's just, there's nothing funny, you know, first of all, there's nothing funny about somebody that's retarded, but just by proxy, speaking to some people that are retarded, you're gonna laugh, whether it's in your head or not. Eventually, after you leave the situation, you might crack up. Okay, it's unavoidable. I mean, I lived next to a retarded person once. He ate rocks, batteries, and cigarette butts. Now, that it was hard to laugh at that. You know, because I saw the dude drop some AAA batteries down his fucking throat, and I swear he didn't joke. And of course they had to call a hospital, because how's he gonna? I mean, that's dangerous. You can't have fucking batteries in your fucking stomach, man. But you know, eventually you have to laugh. You have to laugh. I mean, you know, it got fixed, but he wasn't really. You know, I brought this up before. He wasn't really naturally retarded. He was actually a railroad track engineer. You know, he's the guy who planned tracks for railroads. And an accident happened. He got brain damage, and you wouldn't know it that he used to be a fucking train track engineer, because now he acts completely like somebody that was born retarded. But he wasn't, man. He wasn't retarded at all. He just got brain damage. I guess, you know, I'm not sure what the details were. I just remember the story, and I'm not as gullible as some people think, but just based on the scars that he had on his fucking head and shit, yes, I believe it. Okay? I believe it. And this is a long video. I'm actually testing my phone out. See, this is a new phone. I got new phones, and you know, I got a kick-ass fucking PC. You know, these people that like to get on and troll me and say, oh, you're homeless, you're fucking on government assistance. Hey, man, whatever it takes to make you fucking think what you want to think is fine with me, dude. You know why? Because I want you to think that shit. I want you to think I'm a loser. I want you to think I don't have shit. I want you to think that if you drive by and, you know, you think that you're going to easily take care of some situation with me or something, that it's going to be really easy. I want you to think that, dude. I want you to be decepted. I want you to be, you know, congruently uninformed. I want you to think what you want, because that's exactly what I want. I don't want you to know exactly what I do. And when I was homeless, you know, I had a job. I had a job. Yes, I did. I had a job. It's kind of weird too, because it's like I was always questioning the authority. Why are you making me do this homeless gig? Why are you making me, you know, do this and that? And of course they don't answer your questions. When you work for people that are not from this fucking planet, they don't answer your questions. You just have to just go with it. You have to roll with it. You have to know all the homeless people. You have to learn them. You have to know who's who. And you know why? Because a lot of the homeless people are